درود بر بینندگان عزیز. آرش کمانگر هستم از فعالین کارزار حمایت از جنبش انقلابی مردم ایران در ونکوور. این کارزار در اولین حرکت خودش در همبستگی با خیزش انقلابی نوین مردم ایران آکسیونی رو روز شنبه 6 ژانویه در مرکز شهر ونکوور در برابر آرت گالری برگزار کرد. پروین اشرفی و تهمینه صادقی ابتدا صحبت کردند. این دو رفیق از کارزار گردانندگی آکسیون رو به عهده داشتند. شعارهای زیادی هم به زبان فارسی و هم به زبان انگلیسی سر داده شد، هم شعارهای آزادی خواهانه در حمایت از جنبش مردم ایران و هم شعارهایی در حمایت از جنبش کارگری ایران. 4 تشکل خارجی، در واقع کانادایی، 3 تشکل کانادایی و 1 تشکل فیلیپینی اعلام همبستگی کردند با این آکسیون. احسان ثابت، فعال کارگری و چپ، زمینی که خودش صحبت کرد، پیامی رو که از اتحادیه سراسری کارگری یونیفور با بیش از 300,000 عضو در کانادا دریافت کرده بود رو به زبان انگلیسی قرائت کرد. همچنین مسعود ارژنگ پیامی رو که از شورای کارگران ونکوور و هومه دریافت کرده بود اونجا خوند. همچنین اری از سخنگویان تشکل فیلیپینی های ترقیخواه خارج از کشور مقیم کانادا سخنرانی بسیار جالبی ارائه کرد ضمن حمایت از جنبش انقلابی مردم ایران و جنبش کارگری ایران علیه رژیم سرمایه‌داری جمهوری اسلامی. در این حال به مردم ایران هشدار داد که به هیچ وجه توهمی به ترامپ و سیاست‌های امپریالیستی امریکا نداشته باشند. 2 تن از مسئولین اتحادیه کارکنان دولتی استان بریتیش کلمبیا که شهر ونکوور در این استان قرار داره اونجا حضور داشتن. یکی از اونها اومد صحبت کرد و همبستگی خودش رو با مبارزات مردم ایران و جنبش کارگری ایران اعلام کرد. شایسته محمدیانی، مصطفی صابر و عباس محمدی، 3 تن از فعالین کمونیست عضو همین کارزار حمایت از جنبش انقلابی مردم ایران در ونکوور نیز صحبت کردند و در طول آکسیون نیز همونطور که گفتم شعارهای زیادی داده شد. خانم روز، هنرمند ساکن شهر ونکوور، در پایان یک سرود انقلابی رو اجرا کرد. در طول آکسیون هم سرودهای انقلابی به زبانهای مختلف به ویژه به زبان فرانسه اجرا شد که بخشی از تظاهر کنندگان با این آهنگ انقلابی زیبا رقص هم کردند. یکی از موفقیت‌های این آکسیون حضور پرشمار رسانه‌های پربیننده رادیویی و تلویزیونی کانادا بود، چیزی که ما در 6-7 سال گذشته در بسیاری از تظاهرات‌ها و آکسیون‌ها که داشتیم مشاهده نکرده بودیم. این خودش نشون میده که خیزش انقلابی مردم تونسته توجه افکار عمومی جهانی رو به خودش جلب کنه و بعد از سالها ما شاهد حضور گسترده این رسانه‌های کانادایی در یک آکسیون و برای پوشش خبری این آکسیون بودیم. تعدادی از فعالین کارزار با این رادیو رسانه‌های تصویری و شنیداری مصاحبه کردند که این مصاحبه از این شبکه‌های پربیننده پخش شد. اکنون توجه شما رو به گزیده‌هایی از آکسیون امروز و سخنرانی‌هایی که انجام شده جلب می‌کنم.
Hello to everybody. My name is Parveen Ashrafi. I'm co-emceeing with Tami Sadeghi. I thank you very much for being here today and responding to our call to support Iranian people's struggle in Iran. I know that all eyes on Iran now, which is good. I'm trying to give you first of what's happening in Iran and why Islamic Republic of Iran is its last leg. As you have heard, on December 28, 2017, the protests broke out in Iran's second largest city. The protest moved very quickly across country. It was no surprise to those who have watched almost weekly working class actions in factories, oil facilities, as well as protests by retirees and those who had lost money in banking crisis. People were fed up with the increasing food prices, poverty, unemployment, and as well as corruptions of Islamic Republic and its costly involvement in regional conflict such as Iraq and Syria. Workers often go without wage for as much as 3 months, even in some places more than this. Companies intimidate them, harass them, and dismiss their protesting. They even would get lashes in response to their legitimate demands. There is a ban on independent trade unions in Iran. We still have labor activists in jail. For example, Reza Shahabi, the treasurer of Syndicate of Workers of Tehran and Suburb Bus Company, and due to his poor health condition, his life is at stake. Unemployment stood at 12.4% in the fiscal year, and this is 1.4% from the previous year. It means about 3.2 million Iranians are jobless out of a total population of 80 million. Sources in Iran say that youth unemployment rate might even be as high as 50%. To add to this picture, I should share with you women's struggle against anti-woman Islamic government, against compulsory dress codes, against hijab, and also against discriminatory laws, and so on. Keep this entire picture in your mind now. So people come out and started to chant. The slogan quickly changed from economy to those against President Rouhani and Supreme Leader Khamenei, denouncing Islamic Republic with all its fractions, from reformists to hardliners. We know that purely political protests are rare and forbidden in Iran, where security services are omnipresent. So the sharpness of slogans, even against Supreme Leader of Islamic Republic of Iran, indicates the level of the anger of the failure of regime to deliver the basic needs of a growing, useful population. Iran protesters chanting "Down with Islam!"
Down with Islamic Republic of Iran!
Down with Islamic Republic of Iran!
Free all political prisoners in 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 Iran! Thank you everybody for being here today. Your support means a lot to Iranian people. As you know, our government has arrested over thousands of people and they shut down all social media. We need your support. We need you to be the voice of Iranian people, because this is going to be an ongoing movement. And this time, Iranian people targeted the whole regime. They said, enough is enough. We don't want any fraction in regime. The whole regime has to be overthrown. Long live solidarity!
Long live solidarity!
Long live solidarity!
Long live solidarity!
Long live Islamic Republic of Iran!
solution, you say revolution. The only solution,
revolution.
The only solution,
revolution.
The only solution,
revolution.
Thank you.
من سعی میکنم که فارسی انگلیسی بکنم که مردمی که رد میشن متوجه بشن مسئله چیه. این روزا خیلی روزای شادیه برای من، خیلی روزای شگفت‌انگیزیه. این جشن توده هاست. پیروزی مردم نزدیکه عزیزان. ما مرگ بر جمهوری اسلامی. بله ما با شماییم، ما همه با همین. 2 ماه پیش عزیزان ما اینجا جمع شدیم برای آزادی یکی از عزیزانمون رضا شهابی که در بند این جانوران جمهوری اسلامی بود. اگه خاطرتون باشه من همین بالا اعلام کردم که مردم شما رو نمیخوان، گورتون رو گم کنین، دزدا، جنایتکارا. یادتونه گفتم مردم شما رو به زیر میکشن. یادتونه این روزا داره میرسه عزیزان. We are here in support of the struggling people in Iran to get rid of the Islamic Republic. The Islamic Republic of Iran has never been accepted by the people in Iran. More than half the population in Iran are women. These women have never accepted and settled with the Islamic rules. They said no from day one. Why? Because the Islamic Republic of Iran, under the corruption Sharia law, outdated reaction in Sharia law, in their little mind think that women are half human. They have to be controlled. Shame on you! Bastards, you gotta go! Down with Islamic Republic of Iran!
Down with Islamic Republic of Iran! Free all political prisoners in Iran!
Na be Jumhuriye Islami!
And one of the chants that came out was bread, job, freedom. Bread, jobs, freedom. Bread, jobs, freedom. Bread, jobs, freedom.
On behalf of the Progressive Overseas Filipinos, Migrante BC, and the Canada-Philippines Solidarity for Human Rights, we stand firmly and militantly in solidarity with the Iranian workers, the women, and other sectors in opposing their government's anti-people policies, including neoliberal economic policies that have continued to create more suffering on the Iranian people. We support their struggle for their basic democratic rights, such as the freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and other basic freedoms being denied them by the repressive Islamic regime. We are made aware that these protests did not happen overnight, that even last year there were already forms of protest, including strikes by sugarcane workers, factory workers, miners, against privatization of government companies, layoffs, mining explosions, non-payment of wages, high prices of basic commodities, even AIDS, arrest and detention of labor leaders. We do not buy U.S. President Trump's posturing and his alleged concern for the Iranian people. This is the same president who announced a ban on Iranians from coming to the United States. The same president who has embraced the world's dictators and tyrants, including the Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte.
Right.
We are wary of the U.S. hidden agenda, the imperialist hidden agenda, masking behind the concern for the Iranian people. We urge all democratic, anti-imperialist, and progressive forces, including unions in Vancouver and around the world, to condemn the repression of the recent protests in Iran, which has resulted in the killing of protesters and the arrest of hundreds of protesters by the state security forces. We stand in solidarity with the people of Iran, the working class of Iran, as they assert their rights against a repressive regime, with workers demanding wages, with workers resisting attacks from the state and their employers, with people asserting their right to organize independent trade unions at the risk of arrest and detention, with ordinary people agitating for economic reform so they can live decently, from people demanding more political rights, even a change of government. We demand the release of all political prisoners, especially the labor activists. We uphold that to dissent is a human right, and that all of us need to stand, we need to march in solidarity with the Iranian people who are defiant in their actions to make their situations better and their society better. The Iranian working class continues to inspire. Long live international solidarity! Long live the Iranian people!
When the rulers reach a dead end and have no solution to avert the crises they have brought onto themselves, and when the citizens who are fed up from oppression and injustice are no longer willing to comply with the actions of their oppressors, the era of mass protests and social subconscious comes forward. This is one of the many reasons why the Iranian people, who have suffered oppression and increased cost of living, poverty, and unemployment, have come forward to take the streets over the past 4 days to voice their frustration with their oppressive government. They stand united on making their voices heard in hopes of bringing about progressive change to Iran. The accumulated frustration that has amounted to these marches and protests of working people centers around the frustration with regard to the rising cost of living, poverty, and unemployment, and his long-standing narrative that has always existed in Iran. The corrupt leaders have not, to this day, paid any attention to these simple demands of these people, which has amounted to these mass rallies and protests of the working people of Iran that we see on the streets today. However, these individuals do not have the luxury that we have here today to come and stand on the streets and voice our concerns without any consequence of imprisonment or death. We have a luxury today to speak out on behalf of our people and voice our concerns and show everybody that what is happening in Iran is truly serious and can potentially bring about radical changes to the Iranian landscape. Those who until just yesterday responded to any allegations of workers and people with accusations of security charges and imprisonment must know that the time has come for big changes in Iran. And believe me when I say that no repressive force will be able to resist the rights and freedoms of workers and our people. It is obvious that any lack of attention to the realization of the demands of the workers and the people of Iran through demagoguery, or the abandonment of the massive repression of protests, or attempts to mount a wave of popular protests by the government and the opposition, will be in no way successful. And this time, we are the workers and the people of Iran who make our fate by our unity, solidarity, and continuity of protests. Thank you.
گرایش جنسی ما امر خصوصی ما. گرایش جنسی ما امر خصوصی ما. گرایش جنسی ما امر خصوصی ما.
کارگرها بیمزدن، سرمایه‌دارا دزدن. نان، مسکن، آزادی، شادی، رفاه، آبادی. نان، مسکن، آزادی، شادی، رفاه، آبادی. آزادی پوشش بدون حق و پرسش. آزادی پوشش بدون حق و پرسش. Down with Islamic Republic of Iran. Free all political prisoners in Iran. Free all political prisoners in Iran.
دوستان شعار بدین نزدین.
I would like to start with respect and remembering those 22 people got killed by police, including 13 years old boy, during 1 week peaceful protest over food, high prices, and lack of freedom. And more than 1,800 people arrested by dictatorship Iranian Islamic government. In the land of black gold, one of the richest countries in the world, Iran is the 4th largest oil and 1st largest natural gas in the world. According to their own report, they sell 2 million barrels of oil a day, $50 a barrel. If we do the math, the government's revenue will be $100 million a day. The question is, where this big amount of money, national revenue goes? The answer is, goes to those personal accounts, Syria, Lebanon, and their own army, not to their own public. On the other hand, workers' payment delays for several months. Teachers and nurses and labor movement suppressed. Leaders get arrested and put in jail. The same as Reza Shahabi, which is fighting with life and death in the jail right now, which is in bad condition and sick. And also Shahrukh Zamani was killed by this regime in the jail under the torture. And the other one, Mohammed Jarrahi, was killed, died short after releasing from the jail because of the health issue which he got it in the jail. Or Ismail Abdi or other workers and women's activists are in the jail at the moment. Child labor, inequality, unemployment, poverty, and these are the main issues in Iran. According to the Minister of Labor, the Minister of Labor's reports, there is a 3.2 million unemployed right now in Iran, which got to be more than this. These are a big gap between rich and poor. No freedom, no justice, no women's rights. These are all production of Iranian capitalist dictatorship systems. That's why there is a peaceful protest to stand and fight for their fundamental rights. I believe the only alternative is socialism, to bring freedom, women's rights, environment, equality, and justice. At this time, need to be united, organize general strike across the country, and call for workers' general strike to bring down the whole system by the people. Then transition power to have a democratic atmosphere to choose freely what kind of system people want to choose, which can protect everyone's equal rights. Until then, we have to support this movement, and those got arrested, their life is in danger. Some of them, they have been kidnapped yesterday. Some students have been kidnapped and their life is in danger. We don't know what's going to happen with them. We ask everybody to support them. We ask everybody to have these kinds of protests and support the Iranian movements. Thanks.
It's more than a week. Nationwide mass anger and protest erupted in Iran against the oppression of capitalism and Islamic regime of Iran. The uprising was not voluntarily or spontaneously. It is the accumulated anger and protest of more than 30 years. More than 30 years of capitalists living under capitalist regime of Iran. Hence, the protest rallies spread to the whole country overnight. The slogans and demands of the protesters in all the cities are highly political and more or less similar. The protests started against unemployment, against government corruption and systematic crimes, against state terrorism, against the military and expansionist interference of the Iranian regime in Syria, in Iraq, Kurdistan, Yemen, and the whole world and Middle East. The slogans shouted are in duration of past week are free all political prisoners, free all labor activists and jail workers. Down with Islamic regime of Iran.
Down with Islamic regime of Iran.
Thank you. They shouted, we sacrifice and we die, we never give up. Mass chanted, death to Khamenei, Rouhani, and their allies. Their allied hypocrites, reformists with the government, reflected the weight of the society that society that has risen to overthrow the regime and it's ready for sacrifice. The movement is against humiliation and has risen to defend human values and dignity and achieve equality and freedom. The slogans of bread, shelter, and freedom, along with the slogans of regime's overthrow, expresses the revolutionary and class nature of this uprising. This is the rising of the hungry with the scream of bread and liberation. The rise of the poor in the cities and the countryside. The rise of women and youth who have nothing to lose but their lives and their chains.
Thank you. And I just want to note I'm joined with one of the other vice presidents of the BCGU, James Kokola. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to stand in support with you folks gathered here today, as well as sending a message of the BCGEU, who stands in solidarity with the people in Iran who are struggling right now for freedom. We are a union of over 73,000 workers in this province, and we are in solidarity with the people in Iran right now who are struggling for the same demands that workers across the world and in our province are making, which is the demand for dignity, the demand for justice, and the demand for equality, especially against a patriarchal society with the insidious sexism and misogyny and the violence that permeates within that society of a patriarchal and sexist nature. And also the demand for freedom, for a decent life, a decent human life that we all deserve, for dignity and respect. And so those are the demands that we are in solidarity with and that we support the people of Iran in making. And we know that change doesn't come without action, without struggle, and without resistance. And so we stand here united with the people of Iran, however long it takes to achieve that freedom. Thank you.
زنده باد اونایی که جونشون رو در کف دستشون گرفتن و تو خیابونای تمام شهرهای ایران دارن علیه جمهوری اسلامی مبارزه میکنن. مرگ بر جمهوری اسلامی، مرگ بر جمهوری اسلامی، سرنگون با جمهوری اسلامی. زنده باد مردم ایران، زنده باد آزادی، زنده باد برابری، زنده باد برابری زن و مرد، زنده باد رهایی و آزادی همه انسان ها، زنده باد زندگی خوب انسانی واسه مردم ایران، زنده باد مردم ایران. دوستان بالاخره نوبت ما رسید. ما کسایی که داریم 40 ساله میگیم این جمهوری اسلامی باید برود. مردم تو 80 شهر اومدن تو خیابونا میگن جمهوری اسلامی نمیخوایم، نمیخوایم جمهوری اسلامی، نمیخوایم، نمیخوایم اسلامی، نمیخوایم، نمیخوایم. این مردم حرکتی رو شروع کردن که آغاز پایان جمهوری اسلامیه. این تو بمیری از اون تو بمیری های قبل نیست. دیگه سبز و بنفش رو از این رنگا نداریم. مردم اومدن میگن مرگ بر خامنه ای. مردم میگن خامنه ای حیا کن، مملکت رو رها کن.
فارسی سرنگون شما بگین جمهوری اسلامی.